All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Making Multifamily Money. So today I'm actually very excited to bring on a fellow pharmacist as well as a fellow real estate investor, Claude Kondo. Hey, Claude, how are you?
Good, man. How are you? So privileged to be here. Excited.
No, the privilege is mine. And, thanks for bringing me into your podcast, the REI podcast. I was able to share my journey, but throughout the whole time, I was just curious, like, I want to learn about your journey. I was talking too much. So, Claude,
Yeah.
just take it away. Share us about your pharmacy journey and your real estate journey.
Sure. Yeah, I'm a pharmacist. I've been pharmacist for 20 years. I used to work for the chain, and then I couldn't take how patient care was not really implemented. I didn't have enough time to spend time with my patients, so I decided to open my own. That was about 12 years ago. It was a journey as well. It was hard time. I had to save, work overtime at the chain and save up. And I was married. And my wife was pregnant. We had our first child while trying to open a new store from scratch. So those are the lessons learned. I learned how to really work as a team, how to save, how to budget, and throughout me opening our store, we had some real estate. So I started investing in real estate back in 2006, 6, 7, 8, when the market went really, really south. Kind of the same environment like today, kind of the same. It just remind me of those dates, those days. So I was fortunate to buy at really lower. So I had a small
Yeah.
unit of apartment and duplexes and single houses. So that has me throughout opening my own stores because that was my cash flow. That was my cash paying my employees when we first started because we didn't have any cash. So that was journey. So I got our first store. I learned, we grow it, and at that point we had enough cash. I sold all my investment in Miami, that where I was living, and I went commercial. So start commercial 2017, and I saw how it was so much easier, less less phone calls for the tenant. It was just so much easier, just like a triple net kind of leases. So I fell in love with that, and then I start buying almost every year. Start buying two or three, and then last year we bought a second pharmacy, and then so my first passion is pharmacy. I love to serve people, and my second passion is real estate. So last year we people have been asking me like, how did you do it? So we start a group of investors that we buy together, and we buy triple net, we buy retails, we buy mobile parks, and yeah, and then we created a podcast to kind of educate and learn and share with people our mistakes, our lessons that we learn, and how can we do better if we have the chance again. And yeah, so we have our own mastermind and a group of investors, and we have a podcast. And yeah, and just it's been so cool to meet people like you on those podcasts. So I'm happy that we started this journey. So that's pretty much about me. And I'm married. I have two beautiful kids, Isaac and Ella, and a amazing wife. So
Wow.
that's pretty much about me.
Wow, Claude, that you just touched the tip of the iceberg there, but that was very, very impressive. But I kind of want to dive into
Yeah.
why did you really start the independent pharmacy? Because I know a lot of people in the pharmacy profession are very turned off by it. I mean, I tried myself even a little bit to partner on independent, and as you
Yeah.
mentioned, it's a lot of work, right? Like it's a lot of
Yes.
work. You're not even necessarily guaranteed to make money. Like a lot of times, you
Mhm.
might make enough just to cover your pharmacist salary and to be free of like the big chain retailers like CVS and Walgreens. So kind of
Yes.
share that journey, like why independent pharmacy, and then kind of what was that struggle initially? Like I guess what was your mindset initially when starting off in independent pharmacy?
Journey, and I learned a lot, hiring, firing, doing sales, marketing, and operations. It was just a great lessons that I had to learn. And it was, yeah, I mean, if I have to go back, I'll probably do that again because I was forced to learn, forced to budget. And yeah, so
Great. No, why I highlight that? Because I know it's hard, right? Like when you buy
yeah,
independent, it's very capital intensive up front, right?
yeah,
Getting all those Medicare, Medi-Cal contracts approved takes forever, and right, and your business depends on it. So as you were alluding to, if you buy an existing business, you kind of inherit the client base. But even then, like I was part of a group that purchased an independent pharmacy, existing one, and it was still difficult, right? Like it takes a while to build that customer base to do all that. So it's definitely challenging there. Oh, no luck. I guess no luck today. Maybe we can reschedule. I don't know if
yeah.
it's my. Does Google Meets usually work for you, or?
We usually use a different one. We use either Zoom or
Oh,
there's
okay.
another one
I
that
know
we
it's like
use.
hit or miss for some people. I mean, Google Meets.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
We,
maybe we could reschedule. But then I guess what I wanted to question, I kind of want to know more about your mobile home park. I guess
yeah. Okay, I'll send you. I'll send you. So we didn't do it. So the team that we partner with, they are vertical, right? They have their own property manager. They do all the stuff in house. I'll send you the the investment stuff. I've been investing with them since it's been a year and a half. Um, I invested over $600,000 with them, and I've been happy.
are they just equity? Like they just give you equity, or is it a little preferred return, or it depends?
Prefer return. They gave me about 8% prefer return, and then yeah, that's pretty much it. But at least I don't have to worry about anything else. So
Yeah. Okay. So you get like some equity, and then you get the 8% return.
yes. Uh-huh.
Okay. Yeah, that's why I said like what I learned from mobile park is like you have to be vertically integrated.
Yes, yes, they
Yeah.
are. I'll send you their stuff. You see, I know the
Yeah.
guy personally for a couple years now.
How many parks do they own? Well,
They own about 7 or 8 parks. Actually, they own
okay.
one closer to you. That's the one that I sent it to him to like, dude, can you check on this? He's like,
Yeah,
it's too small for
definitely.
us. Yeah,
Oh wow. Yeah, there's
yeah,
yeah. Well, they probably if it was all filled up, I think they'd have an appetite for it, or many people would. Um, but yeah, 200. I mean, like I said, you need a team, right? And you need to be vertically
yes,
integrated. So like they can basically, it seems like they do. They can come in and just basically bring in like 3 homes a month, 5 homes a month, and then
yeah,
rental. We will rent those out. That's kind of the market that I'm in. Unfortunately, it's more of a rental market. And eventually, you
yes.
convert them to rent to own, right? So what you do is you
That's
buy
it.
the mobile. Yeah, like you buy the mobile home, you rent it out for let's say 5 years, and then once the house went down a little bit, then you do a rent to own model, and then hopefully you can convert those people over. If not, you can then try to sell the mobile home. But most of the people in that market, they can't afford like a 45K home, right?
Yeah, yeah,
It's like if it maybe dropped down to like 30-ish, then they can start to afford that range. That's just kind of been my experience. So it's like definitely like I'll describe it like a 10-year play. Bringing 5 years to bring it in, these homes, rent them out, and the next 5 years is converting them to basically tenant-owned homes, right?
yeah.
And
That's
then
that's the play, and I love them because that's what they do,
yeah,
100%. And We actually they did an exit. The one that invested a year and a half ago, they did an exit. They gave us a capital back. I just
Oh,
reinvested with them again. Yeah, I mean, last year and late 2021, 2022, everything was inflated. So they sold the exit.
mm.
They exited one park, and yeah,
So you got back all your capital over, I guess, what time window? So if you put in 100, you got back 100.
yeah, I got back. That was it was like about 6 to 7 months.
Mm.
They
Wow,
didn't
that's fast.
expect that. Yeah, they didn't expect that as well. So it was a great news for everyone involved. And then yeah, it was 6 to 7 months, and I got my it was hundred yeah it was $100,000. I got it back, not including the preferred return I was getting. It was like 9% back in the
Wow.
days. Yeah.
So you're getting
Um.
9%, and then you got back your initial capital and maybe a little bit on top of that, and you come back into.
I put back into that, and I even gave them more. Uh,
Wow. Yeah, I mean, that's what I was like kind of thinking at one point too. I'm like at one point you want if you want a little more passive, but the problem is you have to be able to vet these people, right? And then
yes.
it,
Yeah.
so that's why when I said what I learned doing is vertical integration is key because like you want everything under your control. Like
Yes. Yeah.
every phase has to be under your control. Otherwise, you're gonna get slapped around like time wise and money wise a little bit.
I can send you the fund. Um, so just for your Steven. Hey Steve, what's your email again?
It's a SDAT win. You know, when we talk about the other things, this stream is perfect. I think God is telling us to talk.
Oh man. Yeah.
That's 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 cool though.
I'm
Yeah, because like basically, yeah, that's what I kind of learned. I'm like, man, like if I were to do mobile parks again, I probably just would invest in a fund, like an operator that's like more experienced
yes.
and they're vertically
Yes.
integrated. But like trying to do it solo, like I quickly realized in my park, like I basically have to fix and flip this guy, right? Like I
Mm,
just prove a model and then flip it to like a bigger operator who can continue my model. And
yeah.
once I hit that, I was just like, all right, it's time to sell. But then, yeah, the issue I'm running into is like it park owned
Funny.
home and stuff. It's a different model, and you need to be vertically integrated. Like I
Mm,
quickly realized that, and like property management in house, everything in house, because like you want full control. So
exactly.
yeah, so you're smart. You chose the right. I was like, happy vertically integrated, guaranteed. Or else, like yeah, they're gonna get humbled a little bit because it's so monopolized mobile home park. It was like in the southeast, it's like one guy who installs homes, like
Yes.
one guy that sells new homes. So it's just like if that's all out of your control, oh my god, you're at their mercy. So that's
Yeah.
smart, man. Yeah, that's the route I want to go. I think eventually later when I slow down a bit because I'm getting
Yes.
tired.
Man, it's so hard. It's so hard. I wanted to focus on what I know best, which is retail, triple net, and pharmacies and businesses. I'm like, I can have my money work for me while, it's just a guarantee return. I mean, it's not guaranteed, but at least it's a little bit safer than me wasting my time and energy.
No, that's
Um,
that's smart because like that's what I kind of learned. I'm like, I'm my best is apartments in Oklahoma. Like that's my bread and butter. Like
exactly.
that's why I should stay to that lane, and then anything else I do, you just invest with a syndicator that's like more
Yes.
experienced. So that's what
Yes.
I got humbled a little bit with because like I was just like, man, like I'm great at apartments. I'm okay at mobile home parks, right? I know my limitations. So that's when I learned like, yeah, I just, had I just put that money into an apartment, I'd be different, right? But then I kind of had shiny object syndrome, as we all do, as we all do. Wow.
Hello?
Yeah. So that's smart. Like what you're doing is smart. You just basically stayed in your lane, and
Yes,
then
yes.
you basically diversified by going out. Because like, and I guess like one thing I learned, like this is way ahead for me, but like they said eventually, like you want to like diversify amongst syndicators, right? Where
Mm-hmm,
you just spread
mm-hmm.
money amongst multiple
Yeah,
operators in case
yes.
like something happens to one, you're kind of like covered.
Yeah. Yeah, like
So that's
myself, I have 4 different syndicated. I invest myself. So I
okay.
have these mobile parks, I have the retail shopping center in Texas, and then I have another fund that they invest in businesses. So just
Mm,
so they can have multiple different income stream that doesn't depend on me or my expertise. Uh, so
yeah, but I mean, you still have to vet them, right? So
yes,
that's like
yes, yes,
still
hundred
impressive,
percent.
right?
Yeah,
Because like
those
like
people.
the oh, go ahead.
Yeah, those people we spend time, we go to same trip, we go to the summer trip. I know their families, I know them really, really personally. So I'm like, this
Do you do any like apartment indicators, or is it just like
I
kind of retail commercial?
no, I've not I have a couple guys that I've been vetting for a while. Some of them are in California actually. One of them is Andrew Cushman. He's a great one of the greatest, I mean, at least. So, but I've not come up with a deal that makes sense for me or my group as well. So
Yeah, he's on Bigger Pockets a lot. That
yeah,
Andrew
Andrew
Cushman.
Kushman, yeah, he's one of my buddies as well. He's a great guy. But
Yeah, I've been eyeing like Praxis Capital. They're based up, I think, Northern California. Um,
oh, never heard about them.
yeah, they've been in operation for like 20 plus years, so they've been in multiple
Oh, wow.
cycles.
Okay.
I think they're on Bigger Pockets. I think he wrote the book for Bigger Pockets. Like I think Brian Burke, or I forget their name, but like I've been
Oh,
kind of vetting them a little bit. Like
mm,
their minimum was 100K. I think they've never not distributed money is their track record, which is like really good. So like for me, I'm kind of strict a little. Well, I've never done one, but like when I'm betting it, I'm trying to think like, have they been through multiple cycles? So it's gonna
mm,
be someone older than me, usually.
yes.
And then they've been through like 2000.com, 2008, and then I guess now. So because like for me, I'll be honest, this is like my first recession that I've been through,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
everything's been rosy for me, and then now I'm getting a little bit humbled and getting some battle scars.
Mm.
But I'll come out stronger from it. It's fine.
Yeah, man.
Um,
That's how you learn.
yeah, like I just came out like before. I'll be honest, I was just like, oh, I hate my job. Like, I want to leave it as soon as possible. Now I'm like, oh, I'm not kind of appreciative of my job now.
Yeah,
It's like
exactly. Yeah.
guaranteed money, and I don't have to.
Mm,
Regardless if you put in 100% effort or 20% effort, you get paid every 2 weeks,
mm-hmm.
right? Business, real estate, you're not guaranteed anything.
Yes. Yep. Yep.
You're not guaranteed anything. So I'm like, it actually made me appreciate it even more. I'm like, geez, man, I'm so grateful. Like, I could just, be lazy today and like not do anything if I don't feel like it. And then you still get paid.
Yeah.
Like, but yeah, I was checking out Praxis Capital because they've been around for a
Okay,
while.
man.
So you can check
Thank
them
you.
out too. Yeah,
I'll
they've been
check.
on the Bigger Pockets. As for me, I'm like, I jokingly said like I want to invest. If I was syndicated, I want to invest in me because like I'm still newer to the game. But by me doing these smaller deals, it's kind of like I'm learning quite a bit, and it can help me
Mm,
vet a syndicator, or down the road I want it to be one and through cycles, then it's a little easier. But yeah, that's
yeah,
what I've been checking out. But no, what you're doing is smart. Like you're basically like a little hedge fund. you, you
that's
invest.
exactly what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to be like a kind of Warren Buffett. You just look at operators and then you invest with them and you let them. Of course, you have to make sure that they're doing the due diligence. They're trustworthy and all those stuff. But if they pass all those tests, then yeah, I'm comfortable investing, and just sitting and waiting for the
Yeah.
exit and double. Yeah. So
Yeah, that's really smart. Cause like I think for me, if I were to do it, I would just like because I'm still so skeptical. I guess before I was a little bit more optimistic, but now I'm a little more skeptical. Um,
mm,
I would do like the bare minimum, whatever the minimum was. I just try to put that in to test them out, right?
yeah,
Um,
yes,
some people you've been pitched a lot. They give the same pitch. It sounds all like great, but I'm just like, hey man, like, what's your track record? Like, they
hmm,
always talk about like the asset class, like how it's good, but like to me, at the end
yeah,
of the day, it's the data, right? What's your track record? Like, have you been through cycles? Because a lot of investors like started like me in 2017, and it's just been like,
everybody was a winner. Everyone
yeah,
was a winner. Yeah,
oh my god, man, and nothing I could do, like, or you can never lose, right? And even me,
yeah.
like, I underwrote my 20 unit. Had it been like lower interest rates that I thought it was like about a year ago, man, this thing would have been.
Mm,
I thought it was over 800 easily, and then like,
wow.
I just said, okay, worst case, it's worth like maybe 600, right? So you have that little margin.
Uh,
It ended up being like below that. I was like, oh god, but I was like, it's a long term game, right? Like, you know,
exactly.
it's a long term game, and at 7.5% interest rate, you kind of don't want to be as leveraged, anyways. So I just said that's fine. I leave my money in the deal. I'm locking in that 7% return, 8% return, which is pretty good. So
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
so okay, wow. How about your business? Like, how'd you bet your business guy? Is that like a private equity firm?
Yeah, it's a private equity fund based in Dallas. So they've been through multiple cycles as well, right? They opened since 1990.
Okay. Oh
Um,
wow, that's when I was
yeah,
born.
and then
So 33 years.
really, man, you're so young, brother. So yeah, and then I've talked to their previous investors. I've talked to the guys that invest with them. In them, I only invested about 150. Yeah,
Yeah,
150.
yeah.
Uh,
It's more risky in business. I mean, higher return, but a little more risk. So that's
yeah,
smart.
exactly. Yeah. So, and then what they are doing, they're buying home healthcare. And so they bought a bunch of them in Boca, Florida, Boca Raton, West Palm, which is one of the high income um, market in Florida. So, and it's working great. So, um,
Wow.
yeah.
Okay.
And
Yeah. No,
then,
home health is the way to go. Out of all of them.
yeah, yeah. So I'm comfortable with them as well. So that's great. And then the third one, which is the shopping plaza, I invested last year. I didn't give him that much, 75,000.
Okay, the
And
minimum. Yeah.
the minimum, exactly. And
Yeah.
he's doing great, man. He's giving his return. It's 8.7% return. And then the hold is 3 years. So I don't know with this interest rate how it's gonna go, but he seems confident. And this guy, I know him for 6 years. So I've been watching him on the sideline for 6 years, and I'm like, okay,
Got
now
it.
I'm ready to do a small investment with you.
Yeah. I mean, like with the interest rates, like what's crazy, like my 20 unit appraised for 520K. And I was just like, dude, if I listed this for sale like for 600, even 700, I'd have many buyers because it's so cheap. Like 20 unit
Yeah,
for like 700K. And then it's like I'm getting like 10K in rents. And I'm just like, how's it so low? But yeah, I think just banks, like they're just so like cautious right now. Like
can you can,
way
can you sell it though, and just pay off your private money lender?
um yeah, so I'm probably just gonna cash out refinance because my cash out refinance actually is enough to pay off the hard money lender, and then I get back my
Oh,
renovation cost. So I
okay.
put in about 200 into the of my own money into the deal. I'm
Mm,
getting back 120, which is my renovation. I leave 80 in the deal, so my down payment just stays in the
okay.
deal.
Okay. Okay.
So it's still like I just told I just said it went from like a home run until like maybe a single or a double, which is
Mm,
no one would have expected a year ago this to happen. And like you said, my other 26 unit, I'm locked in at 4% fixed for 10 years. I'm like, I can just ride this thing out,
that's it. That's it. Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
just
man.
ride it out. And then, if rates go down, just catch the refunds then. And then maybe I can put both mine in under one. So it's like basically a long-term game. That's why like what you're doing is smart, like multiple sources of income, right? Like
Yeah.
you still have you're opening another pharmacy. So I mean, you're building in more streams of income, and like I still work a W-2, so like it's even more important now. And then
Yes,
um,
exactly.
and then you're
But
doing
I
your own
just feel
mastermind.
like, say again.
You're doing your own mastermind now.
Yeah, we're doing our own. We have a group that we talk once a month. It's a bunch of pharmacists and some dentists and nurse. That it's like 20, 21 people. So
Wow. Yeah, it's yeah. I was trying
yeah,
to go down like that the course route, but then I was thinking of like adding on like what you're doing is smart, but like basically my weekly sessions I felt like was like a mastermind, but it was literally just open for anybody. Anyone can join.
but that's good because that's you are teaching and educating. Eventually, is gonna be organic, and
Yeah,
when you launch the mastermind, it'll be easier. You're gonna have
yeah,
people coming.
exactly. So I was basically like doing it for because like, people would ask me like, "Are you charging?" I was like, "No, actually, you just give me your email and just show up." And then ask questions. So that's smart.
Oh
But
yeah,
how's that going? Do you bring on like guests and whatnot to speak, or is it just more like you're teaching?
yeah. We're just teaching, talking, bringing deals for our own investors because they have access to so many deals, and then showing them. Because at the end of the day, the investors trying to make sure that they're putting their money to work for them.
Yeah,
And so we invite like syndicated to present their deals, and we vet out those syndicated like Andrew Cushman, for example,
hmm
or Pasha, or those guys. And there's a couple guys from like storage as well that we bring, and they tell us their deals. Um, and if I'm comfortable, I usually invest. If I'm not, I'll tell them the truth. I'm like, so
got it, got it.
it's
No,
their own risk as well.
yeah. I mean, that's definitely smart because you basically bring in and but yeah, sometimes people trust you a lot, right? Like oh,
Yes,
Claude's
yes.
in 500K, I want to put in some money too. But like I said, you have to like I think we're pretty honest with pharmacists. They're pretty damn honest. Like, yeah, I put
Mhm.
in
Yeah,
money, but I haven't done full cycle yet, right? Or whatever it
yeah,
is.
yeah.
Just
And I
I'm
tell them
getting.
that, hey, that's your hard-earned money, man. You work hard to get this money. Make sure that it's protected. So
Yeah, that's kind of like I remember when I was like initially skinned, I was like, why don't people buy more? Why are people investing with syndicates? Why don't they just invest themselves? But then once I started doing it, I was like, oh God, yeah, you hit a certain point where like you kind of cap out. Or like if your life goals change a bit, then you don't necessarily want to do that work yourself, right? Maybe you want to be more like relaxed and focus on family or whatever that is. So
yes, exactly. Like myself, I love businesses,
yeah,
and we still have our own. I still have my own retails and triple net and stuff like that. But just like to have so many different income streams that it's good. So today I can decide to leave. I'll be okay. So that's the mindset that I have.
yeah. I mean, triple net is like even on the more passive end, right? Like what you're doing
Yes,
is definitely more
exactly.
passive, and by making connections with all these indicators, you can basically be like a fund of funds, right? Where you just raise money and then use your
Hmm.
funds to invest in other. That's what basically Brandon Turner is doing. He's just raising money,
Exactly.
and it's the most
Yeah,
passive route. You just have to vet operators, and as long as you have a following and you can raise money, that's all you
that's it.
need, right? So I just said like, maybe I would do that down the road. Um, but I think right now it just doesn't make sense for me until like I'm over this like hump of everything, and then
Yeah, yeah.
because basically I kind of my goal was I just want to my investments to like just kind of give me the option to leave my day job,
Mm.
and then from there I can choose what I want to do, right? I just can leave my day job and just kind of like take it easier, or if I don't mind working still, then I can go down that
You
like
can do. Okay.
syndicator route. So I haven't thought about it, but like, I think like right now I'm just so focused on just getting out of my day, at least having the option to get out of my day job. Right. I still may work it,
Mm.
but then at
Yeah.
least being able to say, hey, I can leave if I want to. And then at that point, reevaluate like what I want to do. Because I know like if you raise money, it's a different set of stress, different set of pros and cons, right?
Yes, exactly. Exactly. It's a different ball game, right? Um,
Yeah.
and
And I think, you know, probably me and you, if you hit that point, we hit the point where like, you know, like it's not going to necessarily increase your lifestyle that much if you have this much more money. Like once you hit a certain point, you probably know, like once you hit a certain point, like anything above that doesn't necessarily make you that much
yes, yes,
happier. Like it just gives you more options. And, you know, it's, and you can invest from a power position in a sense too. Like if you don't really need it or care for it, you're just kind of like, yeah, you know, if it makes sense, I'll do it. If not, you know, whatever. And if
yeah,
you even lose all that money, you're not affected either. That's where I kind of want to
exactly.
be.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
one of your syndicators didn't pan out, like, and worst case scenario happens, like you're still okay. Like that's where I want to be. Whereas right now, I feel like I cannot take one of those losses yet.
losses. Yeah,
You know, I could
yeah.
take to a certain extent, but like not like a complete worst case scenario. So that's why I just want to get, and I have enough real estate to do that, to be honest.
Mm,
Like just
mm.
my apartments, if I got rid of my apartments alone probably can replace my income almost once they've like once fully stabilized.
Stabilize. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, to me, I'm always trying to manage my risk, right? Just
Yeah.
making sure if something happens, okay, where do I stand? Um, yeah. So it's been a great journey, man. Great journey. Learning and making mistakes and learning from there. Um, my ultimate goal would be to really like this point of my life. I'm trying to share my all the lessons I learned. Right. I believe we can help someone else down the road that's maybe it's not as far ahead as myself, but they can learn and bridge that gap and quicker and even exceed what I've achieved. So that's the mindset I'm in. Like, how can I share our success? Which sometimes our pharmacist mindset we don't like to really have. I mean, share our
Yeah.
success. Um, so I like to be that person that be open to what I've learned, what I've missed, and what I've succeeded, and hope you can help someone else.
No, I pivoted. It's like once I hit 90 units and then I was just like, I need to stabilize. I did the same thing. I was like, I just got to start sharing my journey and you're going to ride with me. You're going to see my ups and my downs and I share it all. Like I tell people, like, I'm honest, like, oh, like I expected this and this is what happened.
Yeah,
But you know, hey, at the end of the day, it's not the end of the world, but it just happens and then you get hit around a bit. And then as long as you can keep on playing the game and keep on investing, that's how you really, that's how Warren Buffett's so good, right? He's been investing for like 80 years.
exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I mean,
Have you? This podcast is called the Founders Podcast. It's about autobiography of business owners. Man, you should listen to it. I was listening to
yeah,
Warren Buffett autobiography and Charlie Monk. I mean, yeah, whoever his partner is. So it's such a great podcast to listen to.
yeah, basically Warren, he basically just invests in what he knows in. Everything he invests in is like high profit margin.
Mhm.
And then basically he has been doing it for like 80 years. So of course, like he's like, because they're all 90, right? Like 90 plus. So of course they know everything. So like even like Panda, the owner of Panda Express and like
Yeah.
Chick-fil-A, like
Mm.
Panda Express, like he owns all, he doesn't like, he's private. He owns all the chains himself. And
Oh
then
wow.
like, I think like for most of his career, I think he's been doing it for like 30 years plus. Like he didn't own that many stores, but then the last like 10 years, he like tripled, quadrupled the number of stores that he opened. Or even like Chick-fil-A, the owner of Chick-fil-A,
Yeah. Yeah.
he I think for the longest time, because if you look at their menu, it's very basic, like not many options. It's just like a chicken
Mhm.
sandwich. You want it, it just pickles, chicken, and then like buns, for the most part.
That's it.
But
Yeah.
he mastered making chicken and he's been doing it for like I think 70 years. I think since like at least 70 years. And then all of a sudden they're blowing up. You see Chick-fil-A is opening left and right, and they're actually making more than like McDonald's and like Burger King.
Even though they're opening less days.
Even though they're opening less days, their menu is less, right?
Yeah.
Their prices are higher a little bit, but like they're making way more money than like McDonald's, and it's because they delayed it, and so that's what I'm trying to like realize is like, dude, like, you know, if you do your mastermind or like social media and you do it for like 10 years plus, I mean, you have a pretty decent following if you're just consistent.
Yes,
right?
that's the key. Consistency. Yeah.
Consistency and basic patience. And if you can do that over a long period of time, that's how you're in anything, right? Like if I focus on apartments for the rest of my life, like, you know, I'm still in my 30s. By the time I'm like my 60s, I would have been doing it for like 30 years, right?
Yeah. And if you speak to someone, be like, this guy has been doing that for 15 years. So there's trust there. There's you have track record, and so that's
I've been through cycles, and you know I'm buy and hold essentially for the most part, catch a refinance. So like in 30 years, my thing might be paid off, right? So it's just like it's just staying in the game, right, and doing it for a long period of time. So I just thought like teaching for me is very natural and organic. Like I even thought like I could probably do a pharmacy mastermind because of my title. You know, I'm a pharmacy director, and you know, you just do a monthly mastermind or something, charge a price to Netflix or something, and then maybe a bunch of pharmacy students will just come in and they can learn.
Yeah, man, you can do that, because at the end of the day, your time has to be. That's the journey I'm into. I'm like, should I charge this? Should I not charge this? We don't charge, but yeah.
But if it's small, like if it's like something like, you know, like I said, the cost of Netflix, like a student can afford that.
Yeah,
and
true.
They can get insights on like how to like interview for positions that I'm basically people like me are hiring, right? Like I'm a director. You want to know what I'm thinking about? Is how you impress. So I thought about like something like that even as well, but I haven't really been talking about pharmacy as much on my channel yet. I've just been talking about like real estate, but I kind of have thought like talking about pharmacy because like basically that's me, right? Basically we can dominate like pharmacy and real estate.
I think you should kind of say about pharmacy as well, because that's who you are. You spent 6 years, you learn a lot, you're still doing pharmacy. So
yeah, I think I just kind of briefly mentioned it, but I never like deep dived into it like I do my real estate. So I think I will start sharing, because like basically if you YouTube like pharmacist, there's not much like people popping up.
Yeah, that's so true. Yes,
I think if you search pharmacist, you might see like one of my videos where I was just interviewed on. Like I think I'm like the #1, and that's not even like much, right? So like it's kind of interesting. Like, but if you do like nurse or doctors, a lot more.
There's a lot more. I think,
like you said, pharmacists, we kind of like a little more reserved, and we don't really share as much. That's kind of our
journey. Yeah. That's why you guys are like the future for our pharmacy profession, right? Just sharing and educating people, and we need to be like doctors or nurses, man. If you put, you know, YouTube on nurse, like you said, you know, there's a bunch of people showing up.
But for pharmacists, like there's, like I said, like that's why I said, like, oh my god, you can potentially dominate the niche. There's not many. Like literally, we could be 1 and 2.
That's it,
right?
Let's do it, man.
I know. just like literally like no one, and then just like because people want to know like how to get in pharmacy school, how much do we get paid? Like I know all that stuff because like I that's what I deal with on a day-to-day. So I just and like it's so funny. I teach my students at my hospital. I'm just like, man, I wish I could just record this and just upload it onto YouTube for the content, because there's nothing. There's nothing out there. But all right, Claude. I know it's a pretty good time for you. Actually, I guess from this, I could just make a bunch of snips and upload that, like little 5-minute snips that we talked about here. So it's not a waste. I just can snip it into 5-minute segments. But yeah, we can reschedule some time of a podcast. I only have Google Meets, but if you want to Zoom and you don't mind just sending me the recording, I don't mind using Zoom. Up to you.
Yeah,
Google Meets is an issue.
I can have Jane do it for us.
Yeah,
and schedule Yeah.
she can schedule, and she can just give the Zoom link, and then just as long as you just forward me the recording, that's fine. I don't really care. I
Okay.
just use Google Meets because I'm Google biased a little bit, but I know it's hit or miss. And then I'll send you my deal again, so it's like a little fresh, but kind of high level.
Okay.
It's 200K, or sorry, 200 lots, and then huge value add, and then I'm basically willing to. They can assume my first loan, which is $1 million, 5% interest only, and I'm willing to go in at a second.
Okay.
Position. Or if they're like a bigger operator and they're vetted, I don't mind coming in as like a limited partner as well, right? I can take some of that money,
Okay.
just dump it into a limited partnership, so that they're only in the deal about maybe like 25-30% with a down payment.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm just advertising again. After I got ghosted, I'm like, farmers, we're so freaking by the book. Like the fact that you wouldn't honor a contract is just like I don't know, like being the devil to a pharmacist, right? It's like, what? How do you not honor a contract? And then I was just like, because we're so OCD, right? Like we're like,
yeah, exactly.
I know exactly what date I'm gonna close on, and I'll be proactive, like 5 days before. Hey, what's going on? What's going on? So it's funny, but yeah, I'll forward you the email again, so it's at top. And if you know anybody that's interested, let me know. We're just re-advertising everything again and reaching out to all the people before, see if anyone's interested.
Okay.
On the deal, but pretty much, like I said, I'm pretty creative, and like if someone's interested,
that's your gift, man.
Yeah,
that's your gift.
I basically know how they think, and that's why I'm very reasonable to work with, because I'm like, I know your struggle and I'm willing to work with you, right? That's why I said, like, as long as people are really willing to work with me and communicate, like, I'll make it happen, right? I'm a willing seller, right? You need just a willing buyer, and we'll sell the deal. So I know like the struggles people have, so that's why I'm like so reasonable, because I've always been on the buying end. So, and yeah, that's my superpower, I guess. So I know, like, with my attitude, I'll find somebody eventually.
I'm trying to, maybe I can bring you on one of our podcasts as well, to talk about your deals in details, like those 90 unit or like 28 unit deals that you have. Just going through those steps and just educating our audience would be great. Just dive and ask you questions, and how did you get the deals and stuff, like, so that we can build kind of like being legit in the space, especially in the healthcare space.
Yeah, I think maybe like I said, we could probably dominate. If we create a pharmacy mastermind, that's domination, right?
Yeah, man, that's it. There's
That's
one,
like
it's called, there's one that they have pharmacy. I'll send you the link. It's on LinkedIn. But they do residential though. They have pharmacists buy single houses and stuff. Have you went to their podcast yet?
Maybe not. Is it? No, probably not.
Okay, I'll connect you to Nate.
Oh, is it Your Financial Pharmacist?
Yeah, Your Financial Pharmacist.
Oh yeah, yes. Oh yeah. I've been on them. I've been on theirs.
They kind of dominate the residential market for pharmacists, though.
Yeah. They brought me on for that multifamily.
Oh, they did. Okay, perfect.
Yeah, the mix up there. So I was on one of their episodes there, and then probably should reach out to Cohen for another one, because they wanted to know about like how interest rates and appraisals are affected. I'm fresh off the press, man. I just got my appraisal yesterday, so I was like, I was gonna do a deep dive video analyzing my appraisal, like talking about it. So, but yeah, happy to go on for whatever, whether it's your mastermind or another podcast. Like, happy, but yeah, I've been noodling the idea of just like teaching them, like pharmacists, like creating a pharmacy mastermind where you help them like get jobs, how to manage your money, and then like how to like interview. I think if I did like those type of 3 topics, I think it would do pretty well. Because like most pharmacists, I'll be honest, they suck at interviewing. I'm a little bit unique, I can talk a little better, but then like most people, like they're so terrible, and I'm just like, I feel like you would pay to learn how to interview better if it gets you like 150K job, right? At least a little bit, right? Or so yeah, I thought about something like that. like, but I haven't really done it yet. But that's what I've been thinking about once. But I've been in focus on the mobile home park right now, so I'm like, that's like my 100%.
Yeah, you're gonna sell it though. I know for sure. It's just a
Oh
matter
yeah,
of
like
time. Yeah,
I think my attitude, like, I know it's gonna sell. It's just a matter of time, and
yeah.
that's why I took it at, like, once that buyer backed out, I actually felt better because like it just felt like it was like a huge black
Mm,
cloud over the whole. It was just a negative energy that I sensed the whole time, and I was just like, something just feels off. Like it
mm.
just feels off, like not good. And then I was just like, okay, well, if it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be, and um, that's why you always have a plan B, right? So
Yes, yeah.
it's
Man,
it's
I'd love to continue talking and dreaming with you. I mean, you are
yeah,
young. I'm on my way out of pharmacy, so it'd be great to collaborate and
yeah, man. I'm happy to collaborate anyway, whether it's podcast or even like a mastermind down the road. But
yeah,
I've
yeah.
definitely been thinking about it, But yeah, I was hoping my part would be sold, then I can be more focused towards it. But
Okay. Yeah.
I've definitely been thinking about that. Like I said, I think there's no mastermind niche in pharmacy. I think
No,
at least,
no, there's not, especially in the commercial side, right?
yeah,
And
like
it's so needed. The world where we are going, it's about bringing value.
yeah,
And if you can establish yourself as the first one, then that'll be the reference.
yeah, like you're established as the expert, right? So
Yes,
basically,
exactly.
like there's no one in pharmacy, and there's no one in pharmacy doing commercial, right?
Uh-huh.
So,
Yeah,
and then we've done residential, like, so it's nothing like I own residential, you own residential starting off. So like, that's where we start, and then
yeah.
you progress to the next level. So I've been thinking like, yeah, there should be like a little niche that you can kind of dominate, at least online. So yeah, I've been thinking about it.
Yeah, man. Keep thinking about it. Let's share
All
some
right.
ideas and we'll go
Yeah.
from there.
All right, Claude. Thanks for hopping on today, man. Really appreciate
Uh,
it.
all right, take care, man. We'll talk
Yeah,
soon.
have a good one. Mhm.